Anyway.
Everybody quiet now.
Yeah, now we're real quiet. All of a sudden, all discussion is done.
No one wants to talk bad about flat earthers anymore.
All I know is Iran threatened to go past the Arctic ice wall, and Israel just bombed them into the Stone Age.
I think they're already there, weren't they?
Well, they were close, but they were close to building a bomb too, apparently.
Yeah.
One of my buddies was kind of a flat earther there for a while. Like, remember when that guy from Red Bull made that huge jump or whatever, basically from space?
Okay.
Oh yeah, that guy jumped off that sort of satellite thing, and
yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, look, you can see it's round. He's like, that's because the cameras are fisheye lenses, and it makes it all round. And I'm like, dude, do we need to go to Antarctica just so I can prove to you that the world is round? And he's like, well, make it happen. And I started looking into it. I'm like, dude, that's like $65,000 a person. We're not going.
if you're lucky, yeah. If they'll let you go.
Yeah. I don't know about Antarctica. I once saw a documentary there that said that there's shape-shifting aliens. An entire outpost was destroyed.
There are shape-shifting aliens everywhere.
I'm going to say that, yeah.
That's me. I'm the shape-shifting alien of the group. 1 in 5.
And Kurt Russell was there for some reason.
Looking for a thing. Something. Yeah.
Escaping from Antarctica.
Escaping from his dogs. What you need to do. Come on in, folks. We see you out there. Thanks for being here. The chat is live, even though nobody's there yet. Be the first in the chat, folks. Come on. We see you. Let me try to go over to Facebook and see if I can.
Yeah, I've been having
switch my
problems with Facebook.
See if I can switch my.
Yeah, my Facebook's been jacked up for days.
Oh,
yeah, I've been trying to switch it from private to public, and it's just been a pain in the ass.
It won't work again. Yeah, sorry, folks.
Mine just won't let me post anything like to Messenger. It shows up on my end, but not on their end, and it's all been jacked up. I gotta like update the software or something. I don't know.
I don't think Facebook's got updated software.
No,
that might be part of the problem.
Yeah,
they're running on Windows 98 over there.
I'm running on Windows 98 here. I don't know what No, not really. I only have one system on 98. This one's on 10. So come on in, folks. We see you out there. Even though you're still not in the chat. What's going on? Mitch?
I'm starting a Mac Mini OS X, so I'm way out of date.
That's all right.
I had one of those. I had that. Yeah, it was a good machine. I mean, my MacBook Pro that I had, like, I remember one day I came in there and like it was laying on the coffee table and it looked kind of weird, like the way it was sitting. I was like, what the hell? So I go and pick it up and the battery's all bulged out and gonna explode. And I'm like, I guess I'll take this down to the Apple store this morning and tell them to fix it. And they fixed it for $190.
Mm-hmm.
They fixed it.
Mm-hmm.
Even had Apple Care. Still cost me $190.
Wow.
Damn.
Running the opening, then we'll get stuff underway, folks. We got some Kirby to look at this morning. Here we go. And to show everybody we're not monetized, we'll say good morning.
Hello, motherfucker.
Yeah, good morning.
Well, I mean, you can get demonetized just for half the the covers you were showing. I saw some erotica. There was cherry in there. I mean,
Everything was covered. It was all good. I checked it. Yeah,
Zap
everything's fine.
Comics.
It's all good. We're not gonna get in trouble for that, Zap Comics. No. Maybe if we turned it inside, but anyway. Come on in, folks. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. Arrow Comics, The Atlantean is my latest project with artwork by Russ Leach. I'm writing it. The Adventures of Cull and Brule from the great short story, The Shadow Kingdom, which Russ and I adapted almost a year ago. And very happy with the progress on it. Book 3 is well underway and will be offered probably the middle of July. I think July 18th or 16th is the date for that, over at fundmycomic.com. So make sure you look for that. That's The Atlantean Book 3 over at fundmycomic.com. Other than that, Arrow, go ahead.
Is it still Arrow Comics version 4? Or have we moved to version 5 yet? I mean,
oh no, we just dropped the 4. We're just Arrow Comics now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't been around in a minute.
We might run an occasional notice that we're calling 3G, that stands for what's that? Girls, Guns, and Gore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more of an adult line. But other than that, we're still Arrow Comics. And Mitch is gone.
Mitch left us.
He's had enough.
He's having a rough time with
talking bad about the flat earthers. I'm out.
He's having a rough time with the internets this morning.
And now his doppelganger has returned.
Now he has returned. Along with me today is my guest, Glenn Fleming. Glenn, please introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. My name's Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer and artist, and I write books. I've got 12 on Amazon so far, 12 published. I've got over 1 million words in print. And relevant to this very show is my book about my trip to see Jack Kirby at his home in California back in 1988 and 1991. You can get this through Amazon or me. There's got lots of pictures in it with me with Jack. Tells the story of his life and all that kind of stuff. His work in comics, so check that out. I also
Jack Kirby worked in comics.
Yeah,
and
he didn't just draw Thundar the Barbarian.
That's
wow.
right. Yeah. I think he only sketched that rather than drew it. If you understand what I mean. Anyway,
Alex Toth, I think, was the main one behind that one.
Toth, yeah, he was pretty good too. This is my character Hatch. You can get this annotated book about his life story, again with lots of artwork in it by me, lots of published and unpublished artwork, and you can get that on Amazon. Fund My Comic, and it's coming to Amazon soon. And occasionally, but probably not ever again, I publish Comics Unlimited, which is a 100-page magazine featuring articles and interviews with people. Randy's been in there, Russ has been in there, and it's all about comics, so check it out.
There we are.
That's on Amazon.
Yeah. Also joining us this morning, the Alley Cat. Allison, please introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Allison, the Alley Cat Comics. I do comics, I live stream, I hang out with these
Crazy people. Yeah.
Oh, we were fine gentlemen last week, now we're people. You said it. You said it.
You're right. I did say that. I said it.
You can change your opinion. You can change your opinion. It's fine.
Yeah, she will.
The cops are doing their job as long as they don't be mean to people who are actually being innocent. Then I'm all gravy, baby.
Being a woman, she will change your mind.
Yep. I see how it is. Yep. I also do live streaming my own stuff over my YouTube and on my Twitch. I'll be inking this up later, either today or possibly tomorrow.
Sweet.
So you can come by and check that out. And yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm tired. So
it's like 9-10 a.m. So we're all tired. So at least on this side of the world.
I'm always tired.
Glenn's had a chance to have his morning tea. So
whichever side of the world I'm on, I'm tired.
No matter where.
Yes.
Yep. Also joining us this morning, Mitch Rogers. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello. I am Mitch Rogers. I am the creator of the Boger horror comic book series. And my camera is way off. I'm a horror writer, artist, self-publisher from Greenville, South Carolina.
Just your picture window. It's got some great lighting in it.
Oh, yeah.
So you know. All right. And in the special guest chair today, we have Mr. Max DeVille.
Yeah, which I took. See here, look, watch this. There, now you don't have to see all the reflections of my mirrors.
No, you can show your face for a second.
Well, I don't have cool things like my book in my hand to just show around to people or anything cool I'm doing, but I did start Atrocity Press. We do 90 styles comics, bad girl books that are R-rated. So it's the stuff your mom worried about or was worried that you were reading when you were a kid. So pick it up.
All the good stuff.
All the good
Exactly.
stuff. And is that a Johnny the Homicidal Maniac shirt you have?
It is.
Awesome.
It
That
is.
is amazing. Good for you.
I'm wearing a Maquis shirt myself.
Bell for you, Johann Vasquez. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Long
Love
before
him.
Invader Zim. Yep,
Yep.
absolutely.
I couldn't believe that they gave him Invader Zim after Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Yeah.
I think he
Well,
took
from
it
what
to
I-
them, actually.
Yeah, he took
I mean-
it to them. It was his
Yeah,
time.
but I mean, like, allowed him to do it. I mean, after reading Happy Noodle Boy, and you were going to give that to children?
I don't think,
You
I
said
don't
they
think
read
they
it.
knew about it, though. I think at a cell, he showed them Squee or something, which is comparatively toned
Yeah, it's
down
much more toned down.
Just as
Yeah, well, look
crazy.
at John K. Nickelodeon gave John K. Ren and Stimpy, or let him do Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, they didn't give it to him, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. And then there was who was the other guy that I really dug? He was kind of like Jonan Vasquez. He did Lenore, the cute little dead girl.
Roman Dirge.
Roman Dirge,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
who it was. Yeah.
Yeah, he just finished a new Lenore miniseries. It's pretty cool.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, she goes through time.
Cool.
Cool.
That'd be pretty awesome. I mean, I like the animations that they made of it and put it on
Oh,
YouTube
yeah.
like 20 years ago, but
Yeah.
you know, because those were almost exactly taken directly from the comics.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. On my thumbnail, I said we were going to look through Jack Kirby Collector number 32, and I put the cover in the thumbnail of number 34 because it was bright and colorful, but I've got them both. So we'll start with 32 and run from there.
Captain
See how-
America looks cooler, anyways.
It does.
He's a more recognizable character, too.
Yep. And
Slightly.
much brighter image. Start with 32, though. Jack Kirby Collector by Tomorrow's publication. Folks, if you haven't seen the publications by Tomorrow's, I can't recommend them to you enough. Very well researched articles, great pictures, fantastic stuff, and they have an entire line dedicated to the king himself, Jack Kirby. With the Jack Kirby Collector, they've been coming out in tabloid here for a little while, and then in incredibly large collections as well, which are just excellent to own. If you love Kirby, you're going to love that. And that's probably at tomorrows.com. I would think their website would be, but they have their entire catalog that's in print available over there for sale. All sorts of different things, including great works by Jack Kirby. And the Kirby Collector is amazing because they try to run as many pencils as they can.
Yeah, that's
Just
what's
a
good
lot
about
of fun. Yeah. A lot of fun. And they cover every aspect of Jack's career as well. So you'll see articles here for just about every era of his work. Here's an article talking about Spirit World one-shot zine he did. I think DC was behind that, weren't they? No, I could be wrong. Might have been independent. It's probably independent. You see it reprinted every once in a great while. I think it's been reprinted a couple of times. That's one of the reprint covers, if I'm not mistaken.
Our zines didn't look that cool when we made them in high school.
Yeah. Well, this was a black and white magazine back when the black and white era was just starting. The magazine.
Oh, I thought you said it was a zine, like he was just doing it himself type thing.
Oh, no. He did this, and then what is it? Tales of the Mob, I think it was called.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
A
Yeah.
gangster book at the same time, just to
Yeah.
test the market and see what would go. They were only one shots. Nice format, though. Lots of crazy stuff.
Including that dialogue there. Sugar, if you stop playing bongo drums on my ears and wiggling shaky, you might enjoy this. Who talks like that? Who's when a girl is grabbed by her boyfriend, who says, "You coarse, boorish, egotistical nut"? You say, "Get off." Don't you?
I don't know. Depends on what kind of girls Jack Kirby hung out with. I don't know.
I think he hung out with a gorgeous one. Anyway.
Sundance of Mars. That's who was on the cover. Great pencil sketch, very large there.
Yeah.
And these books are treasury size. So we've been going through Avengers Treasury over on Comics by Night. This is how it looks compared to a regular comic.
We should also point out at this point that the reason we have so many images of the pencil work is because it was either, I think it was 1969, 1970, Jack's son Neil got a job at Rank Xerox, who were just producing the first
copy machines.
Yeah, copying machines. And so he obviously took his dad's artwork to work and got the copies. That's why there aren't many from the earlier stuff, because they weren't copying them.
Well, that's still pretty. That's still pretty tight on the DPI. I mean, whatever Xerox was doing back in the '60s must have been pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because when I was a kid, we just had the runoff machine in the office where you had to like spin the little wheel and the thing would spit out the paper.
Yeah.
We had a thing called a mimeograph
or something.
A what?
Was that called a mimeograph? Or
yes, mimeograph machine. Yep, you're right. You were saying, Glenn?
We had a machine, didn't copy, but it printed. It's called a Gestetner, and it used to work on film. And it was a really crude printing machine, but I used it a lot at school. So I produced the school magazine, so I had to learn how to do that as well, which was fantastic.
So did Lemmy Kilmister.
Did he?
Yep. He was the editor of the school magazine.
There you go.
Okay.
That's it. Look at that. Wow.
Jack Fax, Mark Evanier. Or Evanier.
Great Doomsday. Not Doomsday.
Yeah.
Dark Side.
Dark Side. Good God, I'm brain farting again.
Guardian. One more cup of coffee, Mitch.
Yeah, I do. Need one.
It's just fantastic, isn't it?
Waiting for Walmart to deliver my sodas. They're supposed to be here sometime soon. That way I can wake up.
Wow.
Walmart delivers to your door?
Yeah, right to your door here.
Cool.
I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, everything delivers to your door here. So.
Well, no wonder you said you hardly leave the house.
Exactly. I don't have to.
Now, Glenn, you might answer this question for me. All the pencils of Jack Kirby's I've seen have been very tight and detailed. Did he fully flesh out his pencils before they were inked?
Not initially at the beginning of the Marvel Age. He was doing layouts.
Okay.
But generally, the ones I've seen, it would be like that Death Black Racer guy there, fully detailed. Not a lot left for the inker to do, really. But in the '60s, when Sinnott was doing it, because Sinnott's more of an embellisher than an inker, he would add a lot to it. And Jack would be doing so many books and covers, as we know. He didn't have time to do pencils like that. But obviously later, that's what he was doing.
5 pages a day. You got no time.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he was doing everything, wasn't he? He was doing what? He was drawing FF, Thor, and Captain America. So that's about 50 pages.
Yeah.
And he was doing layouts on X-Men, Avengers, covers. He's probably I bet he was doing 70 or 80 pages a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
that sounds right.
2 pages a day. Probably closer to 4 or 5.
I think it would be. I don't know. I think it depends. I think initially in the early '60s, when they were putting all these books out or trying to get all these ideas out, I think he was just working 56-hour days, But I think later, when they started to give out, like people, Gene Colan would come in and do the Avengers, and not the Avengers. He did Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil.
Jack's workload decreased when they
Lightened
got
up a lot.
these artists in. Yeah, these other artists. Yeah.
Get these competent guys in there like Ramita and
Oh yeah, he got the best in, didn't he? Stan Lee.
classic period.
That was one of the best things Jack Kirby was good at, was picking artists.
That was Stan Lee.
Oh well, he
Was good at
picked the artist. I thought Kirby was the one that had the say on who got to do the characters he designed.
No,
not that I'm aware of.
He did get artist work. He got Sid Shaw's work. Sid Shaw's had been in the same unit as Kirby in the war, although they didn't know that until the end. They were scattered everywhere. He didn't know he was in the Patton's Third Army. And then later in the 60s, when Sid was finding difficulty getting some work, Kirby told Stan Lee to give him some work, and he put him on Captain America, inking Captain America for a while.
Hire this chump. Save my life.
I wonder what happened to Barda's face there.
Well, it so happens there's a note here on the side that said Jack's attachment to Big Barda is evident in this pencil photocopy from Mr. Miracle number 5 from November of 1971, when Mike Royer tried to pretty up her face in the inking. Kirby went back to his pencil copies and cut out the original faces so they could be re-inked and restored before publication.
The way he drew them.
The way he drew. Yeah. That's why there's a square right there.
I said this way, bitches.
Mike, what are you doing? Yeah.
That's like putting that piece of paper, whatever it is, over that face is like when you put why I don't put X's for blacks.
Oh, that's a piece he cut out. He took an X-Acto blade and cut that face out and sent it
Yeah,
to
he
Mike.
just
Ink
sent
it,
it right
ink this, put it back in. Yeah. And he didn't do that on the majority of his stuff, but that's what the Tomorrows here said. He was particular about Barda. She had to look a certain way.
And the thing is that Jack was editor on this book as well. He wasn't editor on the FF and things like that, so he wouldn't get a chance to do anything like that.
Yeah.
But DC went over his head by replacing his Superman faces and Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, yeah. That's a Frankenstein conglomerate there.
So when it came to the established characters, Jack wasn't the editor, because obviously he would draw him differently.
I don't think they did that when he drew the Superpowers miniseries.
No,
that Greg Theakston was enough of an artist to go through and make sure everything looked as good as possible.
Greg's not with us anymore, is he?
No, he's not.
He's good. I like Greg Theakston. He's good.
He's out of Detroit. He was very, shall we say, aloof.
Yeah, and he
a lot of times at the shows. But then I saw him. I watched him sit down with a potential artist and go through his portfolio. It was one of the best art lessons I think I've ever witnessed.
I think he is what some people would call opinionated, but I'm talking about his work. I don't care what he was like at home. His work was good.
Yeah. He did Pure Imagine publishing for decades and printed all sorts of fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
Some of it a little shaky on the printing end, but it's still great material. Behind the Planet of the Apes.
Wow.
Damn dirty apes.
Yeah.
You blew it up.
You can tell, I think, on these later things that Jack's artwork is going on the decline, and you'll see. I don't know whether it's in this issue or not, but you'll see that on the Prisoner. The proportions and things were. I know he drew crazy proportions all the time, but that Prisoner stuff is horrible in my opinion.
Well, my appreciation for Jack really grew when I started looking at his dynamics and realized he was really working off of basic shapes: circle, circle, square, square, square. Just amazing stuff when you look at it.
Devil Dinosaur there. Look.
Yeah.
That was created for a cartoon show, wasn't it? That never evolved.
It never came anywhere.
Yeah.
And then decades later, they took it, abused it, and turned it into Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Yeah, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Just leave it alone.
I still think it's well. I won't stop there.
Up to you. Classic Avengers cover here. Trying to make a guy dressed as a rooster look menacing.
hey, on a comic book, it looks silly. In real life, it's scary as hell.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be terrifying in real life with somebody dressed like a rooster coming after you. That'd be just kind of. You first be like, "What in the hell is that?" Oh no!
As the old joke goes, why was that Why was that character created in the first place? The cause.
Foghorn Leghorn would have been scary as hell. You know how big that chicken was?
Really?
Yeah, dude was huge.
He was bigger than people half the time in the comics or in the art.
I say.
You'll look at Animaniacs had Boo the chicken that thought he was a person. That's a giant.
Oh, I remember that.
I miss seeing those old Animaniacs.
Marvy.
Good morning. Lots of people today. Nice, Marvy in the house. Good to see you here, Marvy. Bot Rix has correctly joined the channel. Thank you, Bot
Oh,
Rix.
that's my thing.
I've actually got
Oh, is that actually you?
Yeah, it helps me mod. It's
okay.
I actually got Jessica Rabbit as a nurse tattooed on my arm, and it says "Hello, Nurse" underneath it.
There we go. Hello, everyone. We meet again. Rising Phoenix Railroad in the house. Thanks for being here. Marvy says, I found today one of the first comics my father gave me, maybe. Daredevil 127 from 1975. I'll have it during the week. It might have been that one or Amazing Spider-Man 162. I have to find it too. Go ahead.
I sold all my expensive comics last Christmas. I sold them all, and I bought Fantastic Four #5. That was graded at a 7.8 for my dad for Christmas, because Dr. Doom's always been his favorite character. I'm like, here, this might be worth a little bit extra money when that movie comes out.
There you go. Yeah. PBR says, I don't feel tardy. That's probably good for tardy, though.
No shrooms in this work.
Yeah.
Oh,
This guy's dressed as roosters. Here we are. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no shrooms.
No shrooms. Here's a Superman. Pencils and inks.
Hey, we just started. There could be some later on.
That's true.
Inks here by the great Terry Austin.
You see, I'm a big Kirby fan, as you all know, but I can see why DC changed the face.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially at that time, because the Kurt Swan era was raging at that point. They were selling real well. They wanted him to keep that same look. Black Panther pencil page here. Never had any appreciation for Kirby during the 70s. It took me a couple of years to really admire this stuff.
I like the way the thing on the pencils reveals to me. I love the way you can see Jack's lettering on it, and Mike Roy would literally just letter over the top of it, and the way there's nothing left to chance, is there? It's all there.
Yep. EBR says, oh, thank goodness I couldn't take that much whiskey this morning. There we are. Hope you're doing well, PBR. You're having a good weekend. There's a checklist in the middle of the this issue that's sideways. Not a lot of art, very small, but a whole another update on the checklist that they run of his stuff.
Kirby sets new records. Does 15 pages in one day.
I thought it was 15 pages in like an hour.
Yeah, then we find out he wasn't feeling well that day.
Yeah, he had 104 temperature.
Oh, he did 15 pages and then had breakfast.
Yeah, pretty much.
What was his wife's name? His wife's name?
Rosalind.
Yeah, it was Rosalind. I'd be like, Roz, what do you got? I'm only 5 pages in for today. I need a little bit of a boost.
Yeah.
This is from
Is that from Spirit World?
no, Days of the Mob.
Right.
That magazine we talked about earlier.
Same era. I just don't think it was Spirit World.
Wow, look at that fist. Look at how dynamic that is.
Look at that guy's eyebrows
That too.
on the left-hand side. Yeah, bottom. Yeah, right there.
I thought you meant the top of the right page there, panel 1. That guy's eyebrows almost looks like a clown.
Yeah.
See, Jack Kirby began to work on the Joker and no one even knew.
There you go.
Oh, dear.
But we all know that the Joker came from the man who smiles or whatever. So
Man who laughs.
yeah,
Man who laughs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are these from the Days of the Mob 2
Yeah.
that was never published?
Maybe. Let me
I-
check the
that
notes.
page that you showed first, the double page, I've seen that
Yes.
somewhere. But the next one you flipped over, I had not seen any of those panels ever.
That's what it says. These are from Days of the Mob 2.
Right.
Yeah. Like I'm like that girl, the Marilyn Monroe looking girl there. I've never seen her.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, also joining us this morning. Jens, how are you?
We're being invaded.
How are you doing, Jens?
Just dropping by.
Good to see you. We're looking at some Jack Kirby. If my camera will stop
Jerking
little
around with his little
self-focusing
wiggly focusing.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny looking though.
Well, that's just me. Anyway.
Okay, sorry for being late. What are we looking at, you say?
You are fine. This is the Jack Kirby collector from Tomorrow's. It's a collection of Jack Kirby's work. Most of it in pencils. Oh, we're gonna have
And
that
this-
problem, aren't we?
This is what 32, not 34. Like Randy decided to lie to everybody and show.
No,
No, this is 32.
Yeah, so I said this is 32. Unlike the 34 that you showed everybody.
Yeah, I
Captain
use
America.
that cover, which is 34. Yeah. Anyway, this is in the Days of the Mob #2 that was never seen. Here's a little prisoner stuff you were talking
Here we
about
go.
earlier.
This is exactly what I was saying about the prisoner. Look at those arms and that body.
Yeah,
They're wrong,
look at
aren't they?
Those
You know,
elbows.
That's not good.
Yeah, should have come up to about there.
Yeah.
Right about bottom
How
of his rib
old
cage, right?
was he when he was doing this stuff here though?
He'd be about 70, 69, 70, something like that.
Yeah.
Still pretty good for a 70-year-old.
It's still pretty good anyway. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
but-
The proportions aren't right, are they?
yeah, but I mean, if you're gonna pick at it, you mean this is the Jack Kirby stuff to pick at. Yeah, because I got an argument about someone. They were like, "Do you think Jack Kirby's work would make it today?" And I was like, "Not if he was doing shit like The Prisoner."
Right.
The train from Divorce Cases comics.
You got a date on that? Is it the 40s?
It's not saying.
No, it's later. It's later than that.
Isn't that the 50s? Is it stuff in the 50s?
Probably at least the 50s, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
Boy.
when the romance boom really took off. So
Yeah.
It's the style as well. It's different.
Well, that and the detective stuff really kind of kicked off around that time.
Yep, and the horror.
Well, they were trying anything because superheroes were dying at that point, and then the Comic Code Authority come in.
You couldn't put that today, could you? Bottom left, it says to Harry, Charlotte was frighteningly like Lola, plump and pretty.
What's the text in the bottom of the pages?
That's just telling you what it is.
Yeah, the little line here.
Yeah. So that's not a special way to continue the story.
No, it's just
no.
It's just describing what the artwork is in the story.
Right. So looks good though.
The old days has check.
There's Donald Blake, Steve Rogers right there.
Yeah.
Making a guest appearance. He didn't quite have the. He went through it, went over exaggerated in places and trimmed it down. This is from the Black Hole comic strip. It's a Sunday page.
Yeah.
I know that from that robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vincent.
What was he called, that robot?
A
Vincent.
mess. That's what he was called.
Vincent.
I believe the black hole universe and the story settings have potential, but I don't think the movie did it justice.
No.
That movie is the reason why I got into physics.
Oh, there you go.
Whoa.
I was a little girl, and I saw the black hole, and I found them absolutely fascinating. My mother kept telling me that they weren't real, which got me to dig further. And that's what led me down on my me studying physics and going to school for that.
Haven't they found a couple of them since then? Haven't they?
It's putting it mildly.
Okay.
Yeah, they have pictures of them now.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they got Sagittarius Sagittarius X1 and Sagittarius A and Cygnus X1. Which Cygnus X1 is the first black hole, and the reason why the spaceship in the black hole, the big spaceship, was called the Cygnus.
Oh, gotcha. Sweet.
And Sagittarius A is at the center of our galaxy.
There it is, inked.
Nice.
Yeah, that ship in the top left corner, that's the Cygnus.
79.
Yeah.
79 here. Let's see if there's a features. I'm not seeing a artist credit here who inked this. It's probably Royer though, right?
I think it is Roy. Yeah, I think he's lettered it and because look, Roy, at this time Roy was exclusive on it, wasn't he?
Royer or Thurbo?
Yeah, but he didn't do as much as Royer.
Okay. Yeah, look at nice feathering work here on that, on Vincent.
Yeah, so that movie is still definitely a guilty pleasure for me.
Cool. Almost looks like Bruce Tim here. Is Kirby a genre? Kirby as a genre. Horace, the 1969 Image books.
Doesn't look like Kirby, that does it?
Not really. I was looking at
very
that.
much in his style, though.
Yeah, I think the inker kind of went nuts with
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Went a little crazy on that.
Yeah,
There. I
kind of
mean,
ruined it.
Look at all that black. I mean, on the cape and everything. I mean, that's not necessary.
Well, from my perspective, I think it's cool.
Hit code. Didn't realize.
Where do we find this guy?
Joe Alan Moore's Image. Image mini series 1963. Sorry. Reconstructed from the Lee Kirby Ditko canon in a Doom Patrol-ish. Almost better than the original. Way hard and indelibly influential and stuff. Yeah.
I thought you had just said that Alan Moore had written for Image, and I was like, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, he was involved in 1963. It was a set of books, like a half a dozen books that were very retro Silver Age that looked like could have come out of 1963.
Mm-hmm.
I know Steve Bissett and Don Simpson were also involved with that project. A lot of fun characters.
Well, there's a lot of big names on there too.
Yeah. It was a really big, well, that's why you've never seen it since or reprinted, is everybody kind of split ownership and nobody can agree with anybody anymore on getting it reprinted or used again. Because there were a couple of Horus, the Horus character was kind of the Thor version, only Egyptian. But they had a Spider-Man character that was really cool. It's not Sideways. I can't remember what it was. Something. I can see the cover. He was Sidewinder, maybe.
Maybe
he was.
I know the one you're talking about. I'm trying to remember.
Half blue, half red, and he had little tiny shields on his wrists.
Yeah,
that he used. That he could throw around.
Yeah, it was that was a cool character.
It was.
I know Kirby's Image book, the cover of issue 1 of it, Todd McFarlane drew. Todd McFarlane inked it, I mean.
Uh-huh.
And he had he basically was like, I can't ink over these pencils. It's like I can't touch them. So he like did it on tracing paper over it.
Yeah, vellum, probably, yeah.
Yeah, he did, and he sent it back to Kirby and all that, and he's like, yeah, because he told Kirby, he's like, I can't ink your pencils, I just can't, I can't ruin them, and he did the inking, and Kirby actually liked his inking work and sent him the original page.
Oh, there you go, sweet, classic, iconic cover.
Oh, Commandi, yeah, that is a great cover.
I think everybody's probably seen that if you've been to a comic book store.
Love that cover.
It always reminded me of the end of Planet of the Apes.
That's exactly what it was meant to do. Yeah,
I know.
Planet of the Apes was raging back during that time, so he basically turned Planet of the Apes into a funny animal comic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, Rod Serling worked on that movie.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah, you wouldn't have had that ending with Statue of Liberty if it wasn't for Serling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those in the
really?
book.
It wasn't original scripted?
It was in the book.
No.
Well, the book was actually had a slightly different ending. That
Yeah.
the newer version that Tim Burton did was a bit more accurate to
the book. Yeah. I mean the original version with what's his face,
Charlton Heston.
Yeah, Charlton Heston. That was way off from the novel.
Inspired by, in air quotes. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was still a great movie, you know.
That's what I was going to say.
I just saw the newest one, I believe it is, The Kingdoms of the Apes, or what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very, very good twist and very good reference to the original story, and it really expand that storyline on a different level. It's very recommendable. You haven't seen it?
No.
The last one I've seen was the one with Gary Oldman in it, and that one was pretty good. Where Gary Oldman was
Well,
like
I
the
can
leader of the
recommend,
resistance or whatever. I can't remember which one that was.
It was the I think the second one of the reboot series. See, there was Rise, the Planet of the Apes. What was the first one? I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, I remember.
Excuse me, Sir Gary Oldman.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Gary
yeah,
Oldman was just knighted.
he just got knighted.
Does that mean he can bring around a sword now and cut people in half? I always wondered that.
Yeah, does that give you the right to like walk around Britain with a sword now?
Probably.
knight.
You get in
He's
trouble
got a
with a knife. So I mean, if you can't carry a knife, who can carry a long sword? You know.
Yeah, walks around with a claymore.
Yep.
If anyone would have did that, it would have been Sir Christopher Lee. You know,
True.
I mean, he would have rocked the I
Well,
mean,
he would have brought a
metal
fencing blade.
metal blades and a metal band. I mean, that guy.
Yeah, at one time he was the actor that had the most film credits. I don't know
Yeah,
if he
he
still
was.
does it.
He had an amazing life. It's crazy.
No, the most film credits has to go to what's his name?
Peter Cushing? Oh,
Real
no,
no.
most,
Who's the guy who got shot in the face in Fargo?
Steve Buscemi?
Steve Buscemi. That guy's in every movie ever made.
Nicolas Cage
He's not a main character, but he's in there somewhere.
Nicolas Cage and Samuel L. Jackson have some of the most modern credits in movies.
Yeah. Same thing with Eric Roberts.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage was doing it mainly because he needed to buy his comic book collection back after his divorce.
Yeah, he had to make some money and pay some taxes.
Yeah, he had that problem too.
It's like, why are you making these crap movies? Well, I got to pay my taxes.
And
There's a
Jackson-
lot of actors that are like, yeah.
Jackson basically said, "Well, it's like, why do you do this?" He goes, "I don't use cocaine."
Get high on set.
Yeah, I guess he had some serious drug issues for a while. It was like working makes it so he doesn't, use it. So whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, workaholic, cokeaholic, whatever.
Yeah.
Let me see here. I'm looking them up. Steve Buscemi has 188 film credits.
Mm-hmm.
Nicolas Cage. Might have been looking at the wrong one here. That's a mighty small list there. Go back a step. It's probably some second banana actor that very few people know his actual name. Yeah.
That's why I said Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi's great.
He is great, but I mean, he's never the main guy. He's always just like secondary.
He was the main guy in Boardwalk Empire, but that was a show though.
Yeah, real good one too.
Eric Roberts is
Crazy.
the actor with the most screen credits. Over 700 appearances in TV shows.
700, that's a lot. That's more in radio, man.
Yeah. Eric Roberts has 700 and counting.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He must get some wild checks every month at the beginning of the month, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
All depends on his representation.
Sure, they're only 27 cents, but I get like 2,000 of them, so it's fine.
And there's an Indian actor named Brahmanadam who holds the Guinness Book of World Records for most screen credits for a living actor, and he has something like 1,170 titles to his name.
Who was it?
It's an Indian actor named
Brahmanadam.
That Bollywood stuff, they just pump that stuff out.
Another actor who has a crazy amount of credits, Frank Welker. He's actually listed as might have more than Eric Roberts.
Frank Belker?
Frank Welker. He was the
Welker.
voice of Megatron in the
Oh, there
we go.
Transformers and just about any cartoon from like the 70s, 80s,
It was
90s.
him. Yeah,
He's
he was
probably
the
in it.
guy. Yeah, G.I. Joe, I think he was in that. He was
Oh, yeah.
in all the Hasbro stuff he was in.
Yep. He was
All
the
that-
voice
all
of
that
Dr.
Deke-
Claw and
All that Deke
Yeah.
stuff, he was in that.
Crazy.
So when
Yeah,
your
if he
voice is
wasn't-
that awesome, they better hire you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if he wasn't like in the main cast, he usually like did a guest appearance on any show.
And he usually did multiple voices too.
Yeah.
Him and Peter Optimus Prime Cullen.
The black square down in the lower right corner of your screen is for chats, and that's how many we've had lately. Feel free
it's
to
an overlay.
speak up in there.
Say the words, people. Use the words.
Yeah, Marv was PBR Street Gang was the last one with his No, thank
Yeah.
goodness I couldn't face that much whiskey this morning.
Yeah,
Say the weird thing.
that's right. Say the weird thing. Mighty Marvel Western Gunfighter.
I never really ever got into I loved Western movies, especially spaghetti westerns. Like I loved Italian Western, right?
Right.
But I could never really get into Western comic books.
Hmm.
It just never really. I mean, I don't know if it was like just the way I just read it in my head, and the dialogue didn't have the bite that it had in like Fistful of Dollars or whatever. I mean, like when Clint Eastwood's walking down the street and he's like, "Hey, get 4 coffins ready," and then he comes back, he's like, "My bad, I meant 5." I mean, you can't get much better than that.
Yeah.
Well, not even Lucky Luke.
Not even Lucky Luke. Nope.
No.
Do you ever read the old Jonah Hexes from Michael Fleischer?
No, because that was more kind of what do they call that?
Well, it's horror.
Well, yeah, but it's horror, but it's kind of got that steampunky thing going to it.
Oh, you haven't read them. Yeah, they're very much
Those are
spaghetti.
pretty solid westerns.
Spaghetti style westerns. Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to read them just for the body count.
Yep,
They
they
go
were
through and
definitely
count 'em.
violent.
Oh man,
When I was a kid, we used to count how many butt shots Ed Benes used to put in all his comic books. We had like a running tally.
who?
Ed Benes.
Okay,
He drew Superman for a while. He was did a lot of stuff for DC, but he always loved to do butt shots, and we would just count them as we were like reading the comics. Like, all right, this one had a 52 in it.
Wyatt Earp.
Dodge City.
Rawhide Kid. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it is funny though that we haven't really gone back to westerns in movies, because usually movies will eventually reset to westerns.
No, they burnt them out so much in the 1960s that it's made it very difficult for westerns to come back. And I think that's what's going to happen with superhero films.
Yeah.
I'm
I hope
afraid you're
so.
probably right. Yeah. Well, they've
Every now
abused
and then
them
you
so
get a really
much.
good western that they make, like True
Oh.
Grit, fantastic.
Yeah, that was good. But the last really good one was Tombstone.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, Unforgiven was incredible.
Yeah, Unforgiven was good.
Yeah,
I
there's-
started. I started
highly
watching
recommend Old
Tombstone.
Henry.
Yeah, I started
Old
watching
Henry.
Tombstone a couple of weeks ago, and it seemed a little dated to me.
My mother and I watched it the other day. We both enjoyed it. I hadn't watched it forever. She had never seen it, and she loves westerns, and yeah, she really liked it. But Old Henry, I highly recommend Old Henry.
Mm-hmm.
That is a great Western. It's a very low budget film. It's primarily just shot in one area, and it's just great.
Cool.
A lot of
I need
movies
to take off
nowadays.
here. Oh, sorry.
That's fine. Nowadays, there's a lot of like great movies that have like Western style elements to them.
Yeah.
Or like Westerns that were merged with another genre, like Bone Tomahawk is really good.
Well, the Bone Tomahawk was a great movie.
Yes, Tomahawk was good.
But I mean, even Disney finally caught on with The Mandalorian. You
Yeah,
know,
that
I mean
was
that
the-
was
Oh, yeah.
that was just a Western in space.
Yeah,
Very
that
much so,
was
yeah.
my
Yeah.
point I was working at because that is true Western with a high level.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Especially
I-
when the blue character comes strolling down the small village.
Oh yeah, he was
Oh.
inspired by what's his name? The actor who played Angel Eyes in The Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Lee Van Cleef.
Yeah, Lee Van
Yeah.
Cleef. Like
See, 'cause
the,
I've
Another great Western style movie is came out recent. Well, I mean, the last like 20 years is No Country for Old Men.
yeah, that was a good one.
Was that the
PBR
one where the
says
dude
that-
was
that-
shooting people in the head with the air gun?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That fella coming out of the bar on that Wyatt Earp panel, such awesome perspective. Oh, sorry. folks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
the
is-
dude in the
wonky
black
today.
looks really good. I think. I mean, that's the one I can see the best of there. The guy, the obviously the villain, because he's in the all black. But
Oh,
when he
Wyatt Earp
looks-
wore a black
Hi, kid
jacket.
here. Yeah.
yeah, he did. But I
Well,
mean,
look here.
you know, usually like they
Yeah.
use black for the villain because it was easier to tell in black and white.
That's true.
This guy here hanging off the railing, pretty precarious. And you know it takes place in Dodge City. It's got the name on it right there.
Yep. That's where he worked before he up and quit.
Wyatt Earp was a very interesting person.
I read about Doc Holliday, just looked him up one day because I decided, let's take a look at this guy.
Oh, Doc
Mhm.
Holliday
That
was.
dude
Yeah.
was a dirt bag.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like full on dirt bag. Like they called him Doc because he was a dentist. And I mean, he was spent so much time in jail in Texas for gambling and fighting and shooting at people.
Yeah.
And
Well, his whole adult life, he had tuberculosis. So just
Yeah.
imagine all that stuff he did, all those fights, all that gambling, you know, the multiple shootouts he was involved in. He did it. You're basically coughing up blood the whole time.
Yep.
he started killing people when he was a kid. Like
Yeah.
he went and shot some people at a lake or a river, a creek or something, who were on his property. Killed like 4 people, shot 2 kids and 2 adults, and
Man.
got
Real
away
friendly
with
guy.
it. Got away with it completely because his dad told him to go do it, and they were on their property. So I mean, it was a different law system back then, you know.
Matt Black in the house. Afternoon, all afternoon, Matt Black.
What
Hope you're doing
up?
well.
You.
That one guy there on the right almost has kind of a Punisher look to him. Maybe Executioner.
This guy?
Yeah, with the splotches. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
kind of see what you're saying.
Who's that? That's Rawhide Kid? Two Gun Kid.
Moose Morgan. I have read a couple of those because my dad had some in his collection of comic books that I found when I was a kid. I don't know where the hell he got those old ones, but I mean, most of his stuff was all Warren stuff like Vampirella and Creepy. So that's what got me started in comics.
Oh, the classics.
Yeah.
That's a Stan Lee story? I did not
Yeah.
know he did westerns.
Oh, Stan wrote everything for a long time.
He don't
Yeah.
care what he was writing as long as he was getting paid. All right, whatever you want. Just give me money.
He's famous as saying that his wife wanted a a coat, mink coat, or a car or something. He says, "Yeah, I'll just write 2 more issues of something and get that for you."
It's like the old, I won't say it because it's pretty vulgar, but the old Harlan Williams quote, "F you, pay me."
Oh, Harlan Ellison.
Oh yeah, Harlan Ellison.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
Ellison.
Harlan Williams is the comedian that was in Half Baked. That was the school teacher that got arrested.
There's an index of all of the stories that Kirby has done, Western stories. Just the
I was gonna say
Westerns.
that all the westerns that he's done.
Yeah.
God, that guy's fucking just a machine.
Yes.
It's like a plotter. You know, I mean, those old plotter devices they used to use to draw
Yeah.
stuff off like mechanical drawings and stuff like that. I mean, that dude must have just been able to bust out work like just I've never seen before in my life, because I get artists that cry about giving me a page every 3 days, and I'm like, Jack Kirby would give me 3 pages in a day, and they'd look good.
A little bit of rat fink here in the corner. Crazy stuff. The original Teen Agent. That's him there.
Never read Teen Agent.
No. Big Daddy of Death.
That
Doomsday
must be
Baby.
we got some World War II style comics, because I know those were real big when they did the World War II stuff. In the Korean War, comics were huge because all the soldiers would just order them, and that was their entertainment, you know?
Yeah. It's one of the reasons I just found out a couple months ago. It was one of the reasons why DC bought the Quality line. It wasn't for the superheroes. It was mainly for Black Hawk and GI Combat, because both of those titles were selling incredibly well. They just continued.
Bought a whole company for 2 books.
Yeah. Well, they ended up getting a pantheon of superheroes. Uncle Sam,
out of it. But I mean, what are they going to? They're thinking the whole time, what are we going to do with this crap? Like, I don't know. Let's print the stuff that sells.
That's it exactly. And then they tried Plastic Man and couldn't match the quality of the old Plastic Man. Get those pencil works. Is that in the days of the mob again?
It looks like the mob books because the way that girl's hair and the third panel on the right.
Divorce Cases, where this is from.
Oh, okay.
That dynamics. Look at that. That's sweet.
Yeah.
Good dive. You look fine.
Ankles look a little odd, but other than that, she's good to go.
Yeah. That's not hard to, or that's not easy to do, is to draw urbane pictures and have them dynamic. So
even with references, it's still difficult.
Special appearance here, Reed Richards and Sue. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about that I said looked more like the Mob Days.
Yeah.
Art.
It's nice. That's a nice page in general.
Did Kirby cross a lot of his characters over like that and do cameos?
Oh no, it's just the style that he drew them in. They looked alike. Steve Rogers always looked like Donald Blake, and Johnny Storm just looked like a younger Steve Rogers. It's the way he drew. Not as bad as Mike Grell. Mike Grell used to draw the exact same face and just put different facial hair on it.
Yeah. I was reading a thing from Steve Bissett, and he was like, yeah, one day I went to the mailbox and opened it up, and there was a check from Marvel for like $30,000, and I was like, what the hell is this all about?
Yeah, really, out of the blue. Yeah, I remember that story. Yeah, he called him up and had to track it down.
Yeah, he's like, Alan Moore said he doesn't want anything to do with Constantine anymore, and he goes, man, drawing Sting in a trench coat really paid off.
Yeah.
Yep.
The horde is coming and it can't be stopped.
Did Kirby do any zombie stuff?
Kirby on the horde. I don't remember him doing any zombie stuff. Do you, Glenn?
Glenn? Yeah, go ahead.
I don't remember anything like that.
I
like,
think the
'cause he
closest to
didn't- he
horror.
really- I say because he didn't really do a whole lot of horror that I can remember.
Black
I think the
Magic. He
only
started
horror
that
he
title
did
with
was-
Simon.
I think, yeah, he also did the Demon, but that's
Yeah.
He also did that Dracula guy in Jimmy Olsen, didn't he?
Oh, that's true too.
Was it in Jimmy Olsen?
I think so. Jimmy Olsen had a Dracula story. So,
Because when I was a kid, sci-fi and horror were really my jam. But I mean, as I said, I was reading Warren books.
yeah,
So what do you expect?
exactly what they did. Yeah, I heard Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. I thought Val Kilmer portrayed Doc really well in Tombstone. Yeah, it was a good part.
he did.
Really good. Didn't Plastic Man start in Playboy, or the artist do work for Playboy? That was Jack Cole, is who you're thinking of, PBR. And yeah, when Playboy first started, he was one of the first artists that Hugh Hefner got a hold of to do cartoons for him. So he did cartoons for him for quite a few years.
Playboy started in Chicago.
Yeah. Comic Scene. No, this
Not
is Jack Kirby Collector.
Not
Here,
many people
Postmaster
know
Dan.
that. They all think
No.
it started in L.A.
Or New York. And I think the Chicago Bunny Club was the last one to close, wasn't it? Pretty sure.
Yeah, it was either that one or the one in Lake Geneva.
Okay.
Because there was a Playboy club in Lake Geneva, and I think it stayed open the longest. Because that was where all the rich people in Chicago vacation is Lake Geneva. So they all went down there to go to the Playboy club.
And just like those old Warren magazines, the back pages of the Tomorrow's books, that's their catalog available. Stuff that they have for sale.
Oh, that's cool. That's old school there.
Some old-fashioned letters pages.
Mm.
I didn't like when you did this, and I love when they were, because I loved half these letters pages because they weren't really getting letters. It was the editor writing letters to himself. I didn't like when this happened. They go, shut up! I don't care what you think.
I think my favorite letters column, aside from Poison Elves, when Drew Hayes, his name of his letter column was Death Threats. But it was the Lobo's Back, issue 1 or 2 had somebody did this long critique of how the violence was so over the top of the first Lobo miniseries and was
So made it good.
it was crazy long, and the ending was, I'm sorry we can't address your comments at this moment. Have you tried the Lobo Paramilitary Christmas special?
I always liked the ones in Punisher War Journal because they'd always get real angry about how the Punisher was killing people. Like that one where he stabbed that dude in the eyes with chopsticks or whatever. And that was a cool book. And then the next month there was a letter that said it was inappropriate and he shouldn't have done it and blah blah blah. And I was like, what else you gonna stab someone with if you're sitting in the Chinese restaurant? You ain't got a pencil with you.
That was Jack Kirby Collector number 32. Now here's 34, and you should see, I just noticed the back cover. It's a boys' ranch. Take a look at this. And if I cover this up, guess who the inker was?
I have a guess. It's oh shit. Oh, the name that.
Any
Vince
ideas,
Coletta?
Glenn? No
No
it's not
idea.
Coletta. It looks scratchy enough to be Coletta, though, doesn't it? It does.
Ross Kirby.
Nope. Alex Toth.
Was Alex Toth did that? Damn.
Well,
it doesn't look like Toth's work very much at all, really. I mean, kind of, but I mean, like usually he used a lot more cross hatching and stuff from what I can remember.
He probably didn't want to play with his pencil because it was Kirby.
That's true too.
That's attributed to Toth. Here we go. That great Captain America cover.
That was a good one.
Fist is good. I'm too early in the morning for me to remember the technical term for when something's bigger in front and smaller in the back.
Foreshortening.
Foreshortening. Yeah, the foreshortening on that fist is great.
Boy Commandos.
Yep, more war stuff.
Great pencils there.
Surprised they didn't jump more on the G.I. Joe style stuff in the 60s, you know?
Kirby?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because, I mean, that was huge.
He was doing Losers in the 60s, right?
No,
Losers in 60s, early 70s? Yeah.
It's 75.
Oh, okay. They might have just been tired of war.
Yeah, that's true too. But I mean, G.I. Joe was just such a huge toy. I mean, everybody had one.
I think there was one or two issues of that version of G.I. Joe. Somebody did. I can't remember who had that book. I'm pretty sure it was a comic, but it wasn't for very long.
Yeah, I don't know who had the rights to it at the time.
Wahoo, let's roll. Fighting American, Captain America.
Fighting American. Yeah, it's Fighting American.
Yeah. Baby Crockett here.
Yeah, didn't Captain America used to have a whole team of American badasses that would go do stuff, and then they kind of just slowly dropped them off, and it just became Cap.
No, the only team back then I remember is Invaders, and that didn't happen until the late 70s, I think.
Okay.
Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos?
He was a part of All Winners Squad, but they only did 2 stories of that, 2 or 3 stories. They had Wizard and Miss America in it. He was pretty much solo, except for Bucky. There we are. Look at those pencils.
That's good stuff.
78.
Doesn't need inking, does it?
No.
No. I would pay for that if an artist wanted me to do that for a cover or for a splash page. I'd pay for that.
I prefer the pencils.
I do too.
Yeah, once the colors get jumped in, it might be better now with digital colors, but the colors on that picture they're just too thick.
It must be the correspondence with Toth here. That's how he always did his letters. And whenever he wrote a letter to somebody, he drew it all out by hand. Toth would.
Keep his lettering skills on par.
Now he was a Luddite. He just didn't like using a typewriter at all.
Pulls out his Ames lettering guide and goes to town.
Yep. More Jack Facts from Daredevil. Come out here. Created the first Daredevil costume. That wouldn't surprise me.
Have you read into the new Daredevil?
No, I haven't.
It's actually pretty good.
That's cool.
I haven't. It was the first time I've actually been excited about a Marvel book in probably 30 years.
Wow. That says a lot right there. Yeah. I'm currently going through Genius Illustrated and Genius Illuminated. It seemed to me that Alex truly loved to draw planes. Yeah, he loved that era. It's Bravo for Adventure. If you haven't seen that, that's just amazing work. Captain America, the only superhero to have served his country. I think had Superman served, the war would have been over in a day.
Oh, there was a comic strip that they actually did about that. That Siegel and Schuster did that basically was when Hitler was still allied with Stalin, and Superman just basically flew over and grabbed both of them and then flew back.
You guys are not doing this. I remember watching the old Justice League cartoon with me and my brother, and we were real young. I mean, I think I was 7 or 8, and he was like 3 or 4. And there was like Superman versus the Mole Men or something, and the Mole Men had some big cannon they were going to fire from underneath the ground that was going to cause a big earthquake and destroy a bunch of stuff. And Superman just jumps up in the air, flies into the ground, punches his way through the ground, goes directly to where the Mole Men are, had no clue, just shows up, lands on their cannon. It's burning, it's exploded, it's smoking, and the line that comes out of Superman's mouth is, "No more death and destruction."
Fleischer series.
Yeah, I think it was a Fleischer series. It might have been.
Yep. Yeah, those are great.
Remember the first thing he really did as Superman was bust into some senator's office and hang him upside down out the window and tell him that he was going to start doing the will of the people.
Yeah, Superman was I mean, his earliest villains were like slumlords and things.
Yeah, they weren't like superheroes. They were just kind of like, "Oh, you're an asshole? Well, Superman's going to come beat you down."
It's long before the supervillain, sprung up. And they took the red-haired mad scientist that was in one issue and had him lose all of his hair because Dr. Savannah over on Captain Marvel was getting so much attention.
Yeah.
So
supervillains didn't really kick off until, well,
Captain Marvel had a regular revolving cast of villains, mostly the Savannah family that would pop in and out. But
I was thinking,
Batman did too. In the first year of detective stories, he had Hugo Strange, Dr. Death.
Yeah,
and a lot of that was because of Dick Tracy.
Yeah,
very true. Yeah.
Dick Tracy was, but they weren't really supervillains in Dick Tracy. They were just bad guys who looked gross.
Yeah, well, they're
Captain America had Red Skull running through it almost constantly.
Yeah, he was
a major German villain.
And outside of comics, you had like the Shadow had a few recurring villains, and I think the Spider did too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
Who knows what will happen next? The Shadow knows.
Oh.
The Shadow had that whole thing of he killed his villains a lot of the times.
Yeah.
So did the Spider. Yeah.
Yeah, the Spider killed a lot.
That was the pulp magazines of the day, though. Nobody got out alive unless they were the hero.
Yeah. Well,
I recently saw one of the.
Killed him.
Yeah. Batman did kill them initially.
You had guns until issue 2. So
Yeah.
shot a giant down with his biplane.
I read Batman Year 1 or something like that, or Batman Year 2, some trade paperback, and Batman, he was gonna kill Joe Chill with a gun because Joe Chill had killed his parents with a gun, and of course he decided not to do it. At the end, they decided not to use guns or whatever, but it was pretty cool seeing Batman holding the 38 in the rain, right there in the alleyway where his parents got killed, pointing it at Joe Chill.
Yeah,
it was a good panel.
I recently saw one of the parallel drawing tool used to do lettering. Looks so difficult to master. PBR, if you're talking about an Ames lettering guide, it's really real simple.
No, I thought you meant the parallel pen.
Oh, parallel pen? Okay.
Yeah, maybe parallel pen. I know my D-Dubs, Daniel Warren Johnson, he does a lot of work with parallel pins. And he's got some crazy stuff with it. Actually, the piece that I have that he sent me, he did a lot of parallel pin work with it.
Is that like a mechanical, almost like a mechanical tracer? I think a lot of the EC comics were drawn or were penciled, or not penciled, but were lettered in that method.
I don't even know what a parallel pen is.
Parallel pen is effectively a calligraphy pen.
Oh, okay.
It's a it has a straight edge on it, and it can make like interesting parallel lines like really easily.
Well, that's cool.
Speaking of Batman, I just recently got, for 1 week ago, the Batman Year One, and there's actually a scene before he dressed up as Batman when he was testing the water. How should he do it? How should he plan his things? How should he become something? Yeah, can you show my screen?
Yeah, give me a sec here, Jens. There we are.
Okay, so the thing is, he fucked up. He's stuff, and the police comes and arrest him and stuff, and he stroked one of the drivers, ending up in a car crash, cars burning, and he's leaving the scene because he can't be seen, and the police will die.
Is that the one with the Phantom in it?
No, there's no villain here. This is only him trying to become the Batman.
Yeah,
and
I just remember there was the one with the Phantom where he learned to be Batman by not doing what the Phantom did because the Phantom was too brutal or whatever, and he was just killing bad guys.
Yeah, that was Batman Year 2, I believe.
Okay.
Because that's what they used for Mask of the Phantasm. They used the Phantom idea, and they turned it a bit on its head. I think Mask of the Phantasm was a better way of doing it, personally.
Thing versus Silver Surfer. Recently saw a short video by Steve Rude that was talking about Kirby's effect here of the just blinding everything out with the impact of the punches.
That is cool.
Kirby had a lot of really good ideas. I mean, obviously the Kirby crackle, and then like his punches were always like when he wanted someone to be really getting punched, he just kind of erased everything into a splotch and just gave it a nice crack look. It looked great. I mean, he was not just a good artist, he was a visionary when it came to visual storytelling.
Well, pretty much superhero dynamics came out of Kirby. Yeah. Matt Black says, I think if there were a real Superman, he would probably behave like the guy from The Boys.
Homelander.
Who knows what horror is in the hearts of men? The shadow knows. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? Hello, Pizza 33. Glad you're here, buddy. Thanks for joining us. I love when you analyze the panels. Thanks. It's part of what we love doing here.
It's part of the fun.
Part of the fun.
That thing looked pretty good though down there in the corner there.
Oh yeah. No thing better than Kirby and Sinnot. Right? Would you say that was Sinnot ink in this? I'm pretty sure it is.
Definitely.
It looks like it, but I mean, I'm not going to say that it is because I can't see it that well. My eyes aren't that good.
Glenn?
But I'm not positive, but it looks like
it is. I would put my house on it.
Okay.
I will go with Glenn. He is the master of Kirby. So.
Yeah, he would know.
Really. Yeah. I only know what I know.
It's fantastic brushwork.
And what you know is a lot.
Right.
Which is everything.
It's from the same issue here. Doom gets
Doom gets the surfboard.
Yep. Reed Richards, Scientific American.
Something that always used to amuse me when I was a kid reading this wonderful stuff was the way that you'd get somebody like the Silver Surfer or Dr. Doom or Galactus and these people, I'll say people who could literally destroy a planet with the click of the fingers. They always end up in a slugfest with Ben.
Yeah.
You could just turn him into
Like-
dust.
Galactus could just swallow the planet, but let's do a fist fight instead.
Yeah.
Henry.
Just not, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Joe Sinnott. Thanks.
Yep.
Henry, FF number 55. There you are. Yep.
Yep.
Is it
that's
actually
right.
known as Kirby Crackle? Yes, it is.
Yep. Kirby Crackle.
Matt Black. Yep. Kirby
That
Crackle.
is
Yeah,
what
with
it is
the-
called.
With Galactus, I really wish that in the movies Marvel made him like an event villain, like they did Thanos. You know,
That would
like
have been cool.
like spend a few movies like Galactus is coming, then they're like, who's Galactus and all this other stuff. That would
Yeah.
have been cool.
They might be doing that with
That's
the
what I say. They might be
MCU
doing it with
one.
the new FF movie.
Yeah, because he's they're crossing over into our multiverse, and there's thoughts that Galactus will be too.
Yeah, because it seems to me, from what I understand, I don't know for sure, but just what I've heard is that Reed Richards kind of contacts Galactus in some way, shape, or form. Galactus starts coming towards the Earth, and they're on a different version of Earth in
Yeah.
the Final Fantasy, or I keep calling it Final Fantasy. the FF movie, and then they will eventually teleport to 616 and
Yeah,
deal
whatever
with
the
it
hell the
then.
movie verse is.
Yeah.
It's the right area
Yeah.
code. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the oh, what was it that yeah, because originally with this phase of Marvel, there was supposed to be two major villains. There was going to be Kang, and there was going to be a cosmic entity, as they called it. And like everybody thought it was Galactus. So like the movies that took place more on the cosmic side of things would be dealing with the coming of Galactus, so to speak, and then you had Kang rising on Earth.
God, Galactus had like what, 15 different heralds? I mean, how many times do you need someone to tell you that you're coming?
8 or 9, I think. Yeah. At least one for every element.
Yeah, Kang Marvel isn't even like they're not even acknowledging he exists anymore.
No, I haven't seen him even in the MCU at all. And I mean, they've even put, Howard the Duck in an MCU movie. And
Well,
Kang
Kang was
is-
in a couple of them, but yeah, they excised it because of the actor's legal issues. Which I believe he was exonerated on.
Yes,
He was. They didn't have enough evidence to actually convict him with anything.
No, maybe that was it. Yeah.
But you still got that behavioral clause in your contract.
Yep.
Well, just about every business has that. When I worked for Verizon, they had shit like that.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. You still got that behavioral clause in your contract. It's in every one of them.
Yeah. They call it the Code of Business Conduct.
Another Western Bullseye, number 4.
I could have bought that page for $100 off Kirby,
Oh my God, that would have been awesome.
but I didn't.
I mean, from talking to artists and stuff. They always told me that like one of the hardest things to draw is a horse.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Russ will tell you that. Yeah.
So I mean, the fact that he could just crack these horses out in these panels like this is pretty amazing.
Yep. I have a crap load of reference material if I ever need to draw horses. And I do fantasy comics. I don't draw a lot of horses.
Yeah, I only put horses in a couple pages of Mary Machine Gun because Fernando was like, I hate drawing horses. They're hard. And I'm like, all right, we'll use motorcycles instead. Those are just as bad. And I'm like, well, they're cooler looking.
I don't have a problem drawing mechanical things.
An Infantino interview in the mix here. Charlie Chan covers splash pages.
That's a character you don't see anymore.
Well, that's yeah. Even Charlie Chan and the Chan Clan. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's a movie, or that's a cartoon you won't see anywhere.
Nope.
There was a movie that came out, I think in the early 80s. I cannot remember the name of it, but it's an Agatha Christie style murder mystery where these people go to a mansion and someone dies. They have to to investigate it, and all the characters are based on a famous like pulp detective. Like one of them is based on Charlie Chan, another one's based on Mickey Spillane, and I cannot remember the name of the movie though.
Could that be Murder by Death?
Could be.
Yeah.
It might have been Murder by Death. That was a good movie.
Manhunter.
Oh, it was the 70s.
Murder by
Yeah.
Death or Manhunter?
Murder by Death.
Who was the French guy that was the French Agatha Christie or
Hercule Poirot?
Yeah, Poirot.
Yeah.
Yes, that guy. I took a detective fiction class in college,
Mhm.
and we read like 4 books with him in it, and that dude is awesome. I mean, we read a lot of other stuff, of course we started out with Edgar Allan Poe and Murder on Rue Morgue and moved along, but I mean, once we got to the Poirot guy stuff, I was like, well, this is some of the best detective fiction I've read.
Agatha Christie was very good.
Infantino here.
I was a bit more of a fan of Mickey Spillane myself, but hey.
I like Columbo, but that was a TV show.
Actually, the one that I really
Columbo
liked
was in. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Columbo was in Murder by Death, playing the Sam Spade character.
Peter Falk was
Falk.
doing it. He was actually in it. Wow. Glass eye and all. Was he smoking?
I can't remember. It's been forever since I've seen that movie. But yeah,
I
like
remember
Peter Sellers and
reading about Columbo and like
headline.
It was so they had no money, so they were like so poor that he used his own clothes and like the cigarettes or the cigars he was smoking, those were his, and he had a glass eye, so it was always weird looking on camera and everything. So they always had to shoot him from a certain angle and everything like that. It's pretty interesting stuff to read about all those old TV shows.
Part of the charm of the show, though.
Yeah.
I love that picture of Captain America.
I need to leave now. My 1 hour of fun is over.
All right, Jens.
All right, Jens. It's nice seeing you.
Jens, on your way out, tell folks how they can find you.
JensReachout.com. Just got the domain.
There you go.
There
Thanks
we
for
go.
stopping by, Jens. Always
yeah,
happy
it's
to have
always
you.
a pleasure to hang out and get myself educated on where we come from to where we are going.
There you are. You take care. Have a good week.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
That Captain America there really kind of has a almost Thor look to him, though.
Does he?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, just the body shape and everything that he's got going on there. That maybe it's just me. But
83, it looks like.
The detective stories I used to really love was Max Stout's Nero Wolf.
Okay.
Those were amazing.
I don't think I've ever read any of those.
They're very, very good.
FF57, Dr. Doom steals the Surfer's powers. Killer idea. Yep.
Yep.
Didn't Orwell do some of the early Shadow radio drama? I'm not aware of that, but
I'm not sure of that. He could have.
If anybody did it, it was him. He's probably drunk as hell, but he did it anyways.
His stuff is what the old timers always say was the best from back in the day.
I know that Orson Welles worked on the radio show for a while.
That might be where he's thinking Orwell. Orson Welles was in the first couple
Orson
of years.
Welles I know did.
Yeah, he was actually the voice of the Shadow, I believe.
For a time frame, he was.
He did that back in his early 20s.
Yep.
Back before he was selling wine.
Long before. Yeah. Before he did Citizen Kane. Yeah.
Drunk as hell on commercial. Like, are you going to buy some wine? And I'm like,
we've seen the outtakes from that.
Yeah.
Some classic stuff there. Yep. Not a fan of making the Silver Surfer a female. No, me either. They should have just used Nova. Frankie Ray, absolutely agree.
I think they should have just kept it as Norrin Rad and just gone with it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way
week,
Marvel.
Everyone. See you soon, Marvy.
MC is
all right, Marvy.
now.
Gotta go. Marvy's got to go.
See you, Marvy.
Hey, Marvy.
See?
It's literally going to cost them hundreds of millions of dollars. I think that decision. It's a stupid decision. They should have never made it.
Well, that's the big thing in Marvel right now, the MCU at least, is, hey, let's change every character as much as possible and then get mad when they don't like it.
Yeah, it's a total disrespect to the fans. So. Even if they go, well, there's a what if out there with Silver Surfer as a woman.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay. One.
Yeah, that's a what if, guy.
Yeah, that's a what
There's
if.
also a what if where Iron Man is a zombie. So
Well,
you
I had
bring
someone
back
try
Tony
to.
Stark.
Yeah. Well, I had someone try to win an argument with me about was it Ironheart? You know, I was like, it's a bad idea. No one liked or no one really cares about that character. Well, it was in the comics. They eventually she took over the mantle, and I was like, yeah, no one bought it.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they went back to Iron Man with it.
It was in the comics for 3 issues, and that was about it. And then they realized, oh, we made a mistake. That 3rd issue curse got us bad.
I mean, I liked her as a supporting character, but I didn't really care for her when she was like Iron Man.
Some great Kirby pencils of the cover for losers.
You can't
cool.
anyone to be Iron Man besides Tony Stark. That'd be like having someone that was not Peter Parker being Spider-Man, which they're trying to do.
Yeah, you're trying to do
which
that.
they're trying to do that with Miles Morales and all these different characters with the Spider-Verse or whatever. But Peter Parker and his smart mouth, that's what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So putting a different character or a different person under the Spidey suit, I mean, what are they still going to be running their mouth being all quippy with the bad guy? Because that would just be boring. Now you got to do something new.
I feel the same way about Batman. No one other than Bruce Wayne has the chops to be Batman.
Yeah. I mean, they did that. What was it? The Batman Beyond, where after Bane had his back broken and Batman was stuck in the wheelchair and stuff, and that was terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it when Dick Grayson took over the mantle for a while. I thought that was kind of cool.
If anyone was going to do it, it should have been Dick Grayson.
Now Amazon has the Bond franchise. There will be an American and a female Bond. My prediction. I don't know.
Of course.
No, I doubt
We'll have to see
that.
what they do.
The stipulations with the right issues for Bond that he always has to be someone from the British Isles.
Yeah, I don't think Ian Fleming's family would let him change it that much. I hope not.
In the comics, they also tried James Rhodes as Iron Man, not the same as Tony Stark as Iron Man. Yeah, and they turned Rhodes into War Machine.
War Machine, yeah.
These covers, pencils are square because they used to have a header on top of the issue.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. It's like the old EC stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a leg right there, right in front.
That's good stuff.
It's fun.
It's like I read the old Alan Moore Swamp Thing run the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I had it in trade paperback form, and just half of the panel is taken up by just dialogue.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Alan Moore.
Well, it's Alan Moore, but I mean, I'm like, who would be more pissed if they got shit cut? Would it be Alan Moore or would it be the artist?
Well, back then, a lot of the comics were wordy anyway. You look at the old Kill Ravens and that there's whole blocks, almost entire pages of nothing but dialogue.
I mean, that's one thing that I do notice about new books is like they've really cut dialogue like to beating almost nothing.
Yeah.
That depends who's writing.
Interesting.
There's a few of them out there that are very wordy, and it's like, this isn't a movie script, guys.
That and how much they use Chat GPT. So there
that lady on the bottom on the bottom of the left-hand page looks to me kind of like a slightly chubbier Granny Goodness.
Yeah, it does.
To me, she looks like the Watcher in drag.
Yeah, kind of looks like that too.
That too. Yep.
Eddie Izzard is the Watcher.
Foxhole.
Another war book.
The guys in the foxhole.
Yeah, so see, they did a lot of war books. I mean, I know they did a lot of war stuff because soldiers were a big market to sell to because they had no other, any other entertainment. I mean, there wasn't like movies on post. They didn't have stuff to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and very few of them were like at a camp somewhere. Most of them were out in the field, so they didn't have like a hall to go gamble in or whatever.
Yeah, it was easy to fold up a comic, stick it in your backpack.
Yeah,
and trade with your fellow infantry.
When you were done, yeah. Here, I finished this one. You want to check it out?
Yeah, exactly. More panel work. Oh, here's the bicentennial book.
It sucks to know all those books from the 40s and the 50s were treated like that, though, just folded in half and wet. And like,
well,
no,
that and the comic book burnings is what makes the old Golden Age books so rare.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
The incredible thing about that Bicentennial's cover is, like I said earlier, Kirby's even drawn the design for the lettering on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that will have taken him some time.
Mm-hmm.
That looks so good. I love his cap on that as well.
Yeah. It's very dynamic.
I really think Jack Kirby was one of the best Captain America artists that there have ever been.
Notice though,
some of his stuff I didn't really care much for. But Captain America, he was great at. He was good at the Thing. I mean, like his Reed Richards and Sue Storm always just looked just so plain to me, which in turn makes Johnny Storm look plain. But when he really wanted to kind of show off and make some monsters, I liked that. That was when Jack Kirby was at his finest. I thought.
It's 2 pages. Is this from the bicentennial book?
What were you saying, Glenn?
You'd have to flip back. If you look at that cover on the left, it's different. The center, that guy fighting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is.
There's a bit of redraw going on there.
Yep.
It looks like they brought some of it down. Maybe no. This is a redraw.
No, they had him. They had him drop this entire section and redraw. It looks like a Civil War.
Yeah, because it looks like he's fighting. What's he called? The French guy.
Oh, the Leaper.
No,
Batroc.
Batroc. Yeah.
Yeah.
Batroc, the Leaper.
So
yeah.
when they used to do that stuff, did they just redraw the whole page, or did they just X-Acto knife it out and then redraw that section?
It just redraw that section, wouldn't it? There's no need to rub anything else out. It just redo that part.
That's what white sticker material come in real handy for.
I mean, because I'd be scared to death to be cutting shit up with an X-Acto knife.
Well, you'd lay down. They'd sell whole sticker sheets. 1 8.5 by 11 sheet of white sticker.
Yeah.
Lay that over top of it, just like Zipatone.
Oh, and then cut it out.
And then draw right over it and send it.
Yeah, that would work. That would make sense.
Instead of whiting or even using an X-Acto blade, they do that sometime. If they could take a whole section out, they could use an X-Acto blade and just tape another one in.
Don't forget, this is Kirby. That would take hours to do that. He'd just draw it again in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's true.
Oh, you want to change? Let me start over. Don't start over. It'll take forever. I'm done.
Exactly.
A little behind on the comments here. Sorry, guys. Got to Run up here. This is
Got a
Barry,
little chatty.
Barry Windsor Smith inked that Treasury Bicentennial Battles. A lot of people inked that.
Yeah, he
those
didn't do
pinups
all
in
of
there.
it.
Yeah,
He didn't do all of it.
Did a lot of it though. The guy with the bandage reminds me of a piece of film from the 50s. I think it was a British World War I soldier who lost a good portion of his face, and it was replaced with a prosthetic face, which Matt didn't continue on.
Which didn't do anything apparently.
Oh, there we are. Which he could remove. Pretty shocking to watch, but at the same time, the surgeons of World War I did a good job. Kept him alive. That's the whole idea.
War has been, during war, medical procedures and stuff grow by leaps and bounds. It's been proven.
Yeah, science and technology, all types of science and technology generally really thrives during war. It's kind of a sad truth that we make better things to kill people.
Yeah.
BBR says so. Love
the people that are getting killed. You fix them. I mean, there's been a lot, like the atropine shot.
Hmm?
That was a big deal. I mean, when they started using gas and being able to just hit yourself with that atropine and be okay, that was amazing. You know, for what, the 70s or whatever it was that they came out with there, the 60s.
Well, I know here in Flint, our main hospital was renowned there for a while for surviving gunshot victims because they had so many. They were able to figure out how to keep them alive.
And all the practice.
Yeah, they used to send doctors from all over the world to work in the emergency room here at Hurley to learn because we had so much lead poisoning going on.
Yeah, that'd be crappy. I'm on rotation in Flint, Michigan. Oh, that doesn't sound so bad. I had 19 gunshot victims today.
That's not unlikely. Yeah. There for a while, we were pretty violent there. So love the Treasury comics. My two faves are Battlestar Galactica 1 and The Empire Strikes Back Treasury comic. Seeing the art at size is the way to go. Yep.
Yeah, those are fun. Both of those are really fun.
I like the Battlestar Galactica better than I like the Star Wars book, and I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan, you know?
Yeah.
But I just think the Battlestar looked better.
Those artisan editions from IDW are tops, though. Those are shot mostly right off of the original artwork.
Yeah,
and displayed at size. They're great.
Yeah, I've won. I don't know if it was IDW put them out or another company, but someone came up with like these portfolio things of famous comic stories that the case looks like an old portfolio that you'd open up and go through, and each page inside of it is the original artwork. And I've won for Bernie Wrightson's Muck Monster.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, like you could see I love looking at that stuff. You see like the whiteout and like where he had tape on it to, I guess, hold it to the drawing table, and you see it kind of eating away. And it's just, I love that stuff.
Oh yeah. Great stuff. He could remove pretty shocking to watch. Okay. Already covered that. All right. A couple of great penciled pages here.
Like, yeah, look at that! Look at all that dialogue down there on panel. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Panel 5 on page, right page. That's some dialogue.
That does look pretty cool. Just the pencils in general. Oh, that's great! I love that top panel on the left page.
First the bomb. Yeah, isn't that great? And no side of the shield here. It's just traveling. Yeah. So much.
That's good stuff.
And open space there. Yeah, it is.
I mean, Kirby's use of negative space was really, really well done.
Yeah. That's cool.
I mean, as we were talking about the punches and stuff earlier, I mean, that's basically all it was negative space that he was using, and it was great. I mean, the Kirby Crackle kind of probably came from negative space being used.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sure you're right there. Yep. There's a couple of sideways, a couple 2-page spreads there.
Is that Captain America's fighting who?
Batman, it looks like.
Yeah, Batman.
Yeah.
It's be a convention,
A crossover or something, or
probably a convention commission.
He looks like his right foot is a left foot.
Yeah, that's kind of a goofy foot there.
Batman.
don't make fun of Rob Liefeld during a Jack Kirby sketch.
And here's a couple of. It's a Captain America page here. I think they're both. Look at that detail here. I don't know where that's from.
He's got a prisoner elongated arm, Red Skull there, hasn't he?
Yeah, this page. I'm going to have to switch glasses in order to read that fine print. That's worse than a contract.
It says 1968, May 1968.
This page uninked by Kirby pencils from Captain America 101, May of 1968. Yep. Captain America and Red Skull, Nick Fury. Yeah. That's pretty crazy stuff.
So you think about it. If that is unpublished, which it is, there's 2 pages there. It took me all day to do that.
Yeah.
So, and that hasn't been used.
No.
So what it would be interesting to know why and at what point he gave up on that particular sequence he was drawing out, the story he was doing. It would be interesting to know.
I don't know why my camera is throbbing like that. That's not
We
good.
never will.
No.
Just artists, they get fussy out of nowhere. He just throws his pencil across the room. He's like, "I quit. We're doing something else."
I think that one thing Kirby never did was quit.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's a nice look at that.
Well, I mean, quit on the page.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Captain America and Hulk here. Looks like.
I mean, I know, like, he supposedly kept everything that he ever drew, like, in file cabinets and stuff like that. So, I mean, you would know, I guess, Glenn, since you've been to his house. But
I think most of what he drew was published. I don't think he did much messing around drawing. I think it was all published. It was all
I remember a story from Mark Evanier, who not mentored, but apprenticed with Kirby for a while. He said Kirby had a large stack of original pages next to his drawing board back when he was doing a lot of New Gods material. And if he was ever short pages, he'd go through that stack and start a subplot.
we'll figure something out.
Yeah. With just changing a character here and there. Good to go. Especially if he was pressed on a deadline.
Well, yeah.
Just amazing.
I mean, have 150 pages to choose from. Okay, this will work.
Yeah.
Dr. Doom, you are now Captain America.
Don't know if it was ever quite that bad, but
well, I know, but I'm just giving. You know me, I like to run my mouth.
Boom.
Oh, that's great.
You never know what you're going to find on these Kirby collectors.
How many of them are there?
Stuff. I'm not sure. These are old. Here, issue 32 is.
Let's see. I bet you Google knows.
20 years old, aren't they? These?
Yeah, probably. I know I picked 34 up at a convention recently. At the same time I picked up that Avengers book. Looking for a
says
date
there's
here.
80 as of right now. There are 80 issues of the Jack Kirby Collector published by Tomorrow's Publishing.
Yeah, that was 2001 published. This is probably 2002. I'd say. Look at that 2-page spread, though. That's great.
I mean, the fact that you can publish a 2-page spread like that in 2001 or 2 that would work today.
Yeah.
From something that was drawn, 30, 40 years ago?
Probably
that
40,
is
50 years ago. Yeah, absolutely. That's Kirby, though. A lot of his stuff. Night Flyer. Look at that. Smash. Any other artists, that would have been a couple hours trying to draw them two faces smashing into one another. Kirby doesn't need to do that. Just a little bit of
No, that was like 2 minutes.
a little bit of hint there, and then boom. Other than that, yeah. Oh yeah, Kipper. As long as you got the mustache there.
That would take me 2 minutes to draw because there's hardly anything there.
Yeah.
Once again,
What a fun panel.
It's that use of negative space, you know.
Oh yeah.
That the Night Flyer page over on the right, yeah, that is great. Hell, all of those action sequences are just fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire left page, just the running fight and everything. This looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be using a heavier pencil, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He does.
Something. I mean, I don't know if it's a heavier pencil or the
Thicker.
lead
When
is
I-
different or.
Yeah, I don't mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean like a number 2, number 3 pencil or whatever. Something
That could be
heavier.
the Zero or the copy on that too.
Yeah.
He's going through here and filling in the black spaces as well, so it's going to look thick. It says if you can't read this, you need glasses. That's what it says.
That's exactly what it says.
We all need glasses. I need new glasses.
My
They want
money's
me
on
to-
Captain America in this one. Oh yeah.
They want me to get bifocals, and I'm like, can I just get 2 pairs of glasses?
Yeah, I need to get progressive lenses myself. So
Those progressives are a pain. I can't get used to them. I've got bifocals on my main glasses, but I use a pair of reading glasses for the computer.
God, I feel old.
That's what you do. You just start comparing your illnesses.
Oh, those covers are great.
Take that down just a little.
This
so
is
you
the
can see what-
Falcon.
Oh
Great
God, it's
detail.
Captain Falcon doing their impressions of a kaiju.
It's fantastic.
Oh no, there goes Tokyo.
Captain America's head looks a little weird in that.
Yeah, here it looks a little elongated here. Yeah,
Yeah.
that ear is way back. Doesn't matter. It's Kirby.
Yeah. It gets a pass.
Yeah. It looks like when you look at the actual cover, though, whoever inked it straightened it out.
It's
Quite a
John
bit.
Romita ink that.
Okay, is it?
I'd say.
Well, if I was going to give anyone
Or
the
Giacomo.
opportunity to adjust someone's art, it would probably be John Romita Jr.
Yeah, I
I'll
think
have to
it,
look
I
at
think
that.
it, I think
Giacomo.
the Giacomo.
It's
I
Giacomo.
just look at that ear. Looks like a Romita ear.
Yeah.
Also, that shoulder's a little elongated on the left hand side.
Yeah.
Don't tell Rob that. Don't tell Rob that. Especially on Captain America.
Oh, that was his chest.
That's right.
Well, muscles on muscles on muscles. He had like pecs that had pecs.
He's supposed to be published.
Kirby as a genre again. People who have ate Kirby.
I wish. No, I won't say it.
Justice League of Cyberspace. Philip Droulet.
His heavy metal work is phenomenal.
Yeah. So we here talking about Kirby.
Well, damn near everybody's heavy metal workers are phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's the point of the book.
It's nice.
I mean, some of the stories were really bad, but the art was always really good.
Yeah, that's true. There's your Dracula.
Yeah.
You're talking about Harlan Ellison earlier. Some of the first stories I ever read by him were in old issues of Heavy Metal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Heavy Metal.
Yep.
Yep.
Does his Dracula have a mustache?
Transylvania.
Was
I
it
can't
Dracula
quite
number
The man
10?
from Transylvania. Yeah.
Dracula
Looks like
10
it.
when Blade came out, right?
were-
No, that was that was the Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen issue.
Yeah.
No, I was just curious if Dracula had a mustache there, because actually in the book he does.
Yeah.
We almost never get that in any of the adaptations.
We
They
did
did
get
a-
a
they-
Superman
they-
It's a
one.
really good shadow. Yeah.
The BBC just did a Dracula adaptation that was actually pretty good. I mean, they kind of modernized it a little bit, but Dracula looks like Dracula's supposed to look. I mean, as he
Like a
you
monster?
know, well,
Yeah, like a decrepit old man.
he starts out decrepit, and then as Harker's there, he starts to look less and less old because he's feeding on people and
Well,
you
I
know,
mean, in the book he only shows up like twice.
well, yeah.
So it's like, he's alluded to, but he's never like quote unquote on stage as ever like in two parts.
I mean, the book's all just Jonathan Harker's journal.
Memoirs.
So.
Yeah.
Well, it has that. It has the Demeter logs. It has the book is interesting.
Yeah. It's a great book.
Yeah.
Dollar murders.
Hey, pay me $1 million. I'll kill whoever you want.
Buys Hydra intrigue and espionage, lengthy dissertation. We need to finish this up. We are already past the 2-hour mark, and
Okay, we are.
the wife is eager to have my company.
Getting fuzzy. Like, get up
Throbby.
here, Randy.
It's getting throbby here. Come on, silly camera.
Be still, my
Focus.
beating camera.
Focus, dang it. Focus. Yeah. Great Nick Fury material. You always love that portion.
I wonder who the new Nick Fury is going to be.
Is there
It'll
going to
be
be
a
a new
woman.
Nick Fury? Probably.
Yeah, they're supposed to be replacing Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury.
He probably got ashamed after Secret Wars.
He should
don't
be.
know he got the gig in the first place.
What do you mean a cat scratched my eye? Damn it.
Yeah. Like, come on now. Give me something real. Like, it
that's-
should have
that's
been
the-
something that happened in Budapest with,
Yeah.
Black Widow and
And
Hawkeye, you know.
That was the start of Marvel going downhill, I think. What do you mean a cat scratched my eye? Simon says. Little Joe Simon here. Collaborations. Oh, look at that. It's the All Winter Squad. The Simon suit. He was suing for the rights there for a little while until they settled out of court. Of course, stuntman.
There were so many lawsuits in comics from like the 40s to the 60s. It was crazy.
Well, nobody
Oh, they're
knew
still
any of this
going.
stuff was. Yeah, it's still going. But nobody knew any of this stuff was ever going to be valuable, so nobody kept track of any contracts. So they had them sign the back of the checks, saying it was work for hire.
Yeah.
They didn't really start paying attention until the late 70s. We're going to have to finish it up there, folks. Anyway, this is Jack Kirby Collector number 34 and number 32. I don't
Yeah,
have
we got through a
33.
book and a half, so that's all right.
About a book and 3/4, really. Yeah, all good. Kirby Collector from Tomorrow's, folks. If you get a chance, you see them at shows, definitely worth your time picking them up.
Oh yeah, and there are 80 available, as Google has told me.
They've put a bunch of them together into omnibuses too, so you can get whole collections of about 4 issues at once. Nice
Oh,
and
that'd be
square.
the way to go right there.
Excellent on a shelf. Says, can you go back to the page with the cars, please? Where we're talking here.
There was no pages with cars. That's what he got you with.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure. You'll have to rewind the
video
PBR. But it's time for me to go. We have to go. Deeply appreciate everybody stopping by. Everybody this morning, especially, had a full house. It's all good, even with Russ on a boat and not able to be here.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
good.
I just saw in the chat you were doing the Kirby collection, and I was like, well, I'm awake. I'm going to check this out.
There you go. All right. Max, why don't you tell folks how they can find you?
Currently our website is down because the host decided they wanted to start charging me like $90 every 3 months, and I told them to suck it, and I got a new website, bought a new domain. We're building it currently, but if you want to find me, just Max DeVille on Facebook. Super easy.
Here we are. Mitch, tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me at Linktree/Celtic Cross Studios. You can find me on my website, on my socials. I am going through my first mini series, the first Boger mini series, and I'm remastering the art on it and changing a lot of the cringy dialogue. And I'll be posting those on my webcomics platforms probably the next week or two. And when I'm done with it, I'll collect it in a trade and have a crowdfunding campaign for it. And there will be stuff in the trade that will not be online. So if you want the full thing, then just wait for that to come out.
All right. Allison, please tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me right here on Sundays on the Indie Comics Network with these fine gentlemen.
Thank you.
No problem.
When did you get the new tattoo, Allie? I didn't see that before.
Oh, I got this a couple of years ago.
Okay. I haven't been around for a minute, so I saw that and I was like, way to go.
Yeah, I'll absolutely love it. I need to get the tiger one over here.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I definitely do.
Once you get a tattoo, there is no going back. It is an addiction.
Yeah, it really is. That's very true. Yeah, so you can find me there. I stream on my own channels. I try to stream on Sundays, Mondays, and Fridays. That's just my Allison McClone YouTube channel or AlleyCat_comics over on Twitch. And I try to send it through Facebook too, but Facebook's been a pain in the ass with settings lately.
They've been terrible.
You may or may not see it on Facebook. I said I'll be inking up my Daredevil piece I drew the other day on Friday, on next time I live stream. And I have my Last Sentinel comic going to press, and I'm actually including an extra 4-page mini bit to it because I'm running behind on the book and I want to give people stuff.
All right.
Yeah, that should pretty much cover me for now. Yeah.
Cool. Glenn, tell folks how they can find you, please.
You can find me here on Randy's program on Fridays and Sundays. You can find my work on Amazon. You can find it on Go Fund My Comic. Just about anywhere. Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Just put my name in Google. You'll find something. Lots of stuff on there, but mainly on Amazon.
All right.
Just wander through Europe. You'll run into them eventually. There's only so many people there.
That's right. Yeah. It's increasing by the day, but that's another story.
That is true.
And folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. So glad you were able to stop by today and visit us as we look through some great Kirby material. This Friday morning, 5 a.m., Comics by Night, we're going to be looking at some great John Buscema material, Avengers in black and white.
God,
fantastic
get up that early.
And when 5 a.m., Max, set your alarm. We don't sleep anyway. The older you get, the less sleep you get.
That's
and
true.
Then if we run out of John Buscema, right after John Buscema is a couple of issues by some guy named Barry Windsor Smith. We might look at those.
I've never even heard of that guy.
Yeah, who knows? Yep. Next Sunday, I thought we would take a look at some real early Superman.
Oh, cool.
Material. I've got a book here that I've had for decades. I don't think it's been opened in about 20 years, called Superman from the 30s to the 70s.
Oh,
nice.
It's got some fantastic key stories in here by all of the great Superman artists are here all the way through Neil Adams in the 70s. Great material, folks. Great Superman stories. You don't want to miss it. Next Sunday, we'll take a look at Superman.
Does it have the Muhammad Ali fight in it?
No, it does not. It was done long before the Muhammad Ali book. But it does have where they tried to change Superman and turn all of the iron or all of the kryptonite into iron there for a short period of time. And it's got that classic where this villain throws a piece of kryptonite that's already been muted up in front of him, and Superman looks at it and takes it from him, looks at it, and then eats it. He goes, delicious. But anyway, we'll see that starting next week. Superman from the 30s to the 70s. So glad you're able to stop by today. That's my ring as the wife is eager to leave. We shall
hurry up.
Yep, exactly right. We'll see you on the next one, folks. We do this because we're inspired by it. We're not monetized, so we're not begging for money, or we don't have any outside sponsors. Any ads we run here are just for parity's sake. But we just love talking about comics. As you can tell, here's 2+ hours of us just talking about everything, including Jack Kirby. So we hope you enjoyed yourself. Hang on just a second. What'd you have there, Glenn?
What we've just been looking at.
There we are. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Exactly right. Yep.
Fantastic
stuff. More stuff coming. Don't forget, we are archived over at the Comic Book Black Belt YouTube channel, the Randy Zim YouTube channel, but most especially over at the Indie Comics Network YouTube channel, where you can look at all of the stuff that we've looked at in the past, and we've looked at a wide variety of material. If there's anything there that you want us to, or anything not there that you want us to take a look at, please send a comment. I'm always available, well, most of the time on Facebook, a little bit on X, not very often. You can always throw a comment here wherever you're finding this program and drop a suggestion. Yes, dear, I know. Anyway, there we are. That's what I get. We just had a ring installed and it chimes whenever somebody opens that door. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Go visit your local retailer when you can. Don't forget about fundmycomic.com. A lot of great campaigns over there, including Hatch by Glenn is there. Every Arrow book will be offered as it comes out, available through Fund My Comic as well. Look for an Arrow store coming. We keep promising it's going to be there, and it'll be there eventually. Deeply appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Anything I forgot, buy alternative and independent comics, especially ours. And try to be more social on these antisocial networks. So we'll see everybody soon.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Sayonara.
Hi y'all, it's time for Appalachian Word of the Day. The word of the day is isolate. I was late to work this morning that they fired me by lunchtime.
Nice beaver.
Thank you. I just had it stuffed.
Let me help you with that.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.